So, who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready for some? Oh, I better lock this door. Oh, yeah, there we go. Who's ready for some? Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day today, isn't it? Yeah, see? And I'm just walking into strangers and they're noticing things. And this morning motivation is the difference between friends and family. I think I know this guy. This motherfucker. What are you doing? Okay. And what's the plan? I thought you were my friend Aki there for a second. I thought you were my buddy Aki. I was like, this motherfucker's waiting outside. Yeah, bro. Have a good day. Yeah, no worries. Rising and shining. Friends or family. I've been saying shit. I thought I saw my buddy Aki. I was like, what the fuck? I haven't seen you in a long time, man. You gained weight. It's not him. But that's what it is. There's my buddy right here, Hoover Boyka. How you doing, brother? He act like you don't see me. He's so weird. He always stares at me, but he act like you don't see me. It's the morning motivation. This is Saints Addiction. I'm in it to win it, y'all. In it to win it in life. And I'm over here in Finland, where my family and my grandma is celebrating her 85th birthday. I thought it was 83, 85. Shout out to my grandma, Sonia J. And catch her if you can. That's what she would say. But I'm trying to catch up with my life here in this morning marijuana motivation. I'm so friendly. People are saying hi to me. And some of them I think are my friends, or maybe I make my friends into family. I was thinking about this yesterday when I had barbecue with Yoni and his family. He's like, you're a part of our family now, you know? And I'm living in the shop and I got keys to the shop. Hello, good morning. And I'm doing things naturally, you know, with my friends and family, or just my friends or my family, or more that my friends have turned into my family. And I want to have that conversation because my family can be so destructive and separated. And it's like I've spoken to my mom in a minute since she kicked me out, and then all of a sudden it was the manic, hey, everything's all right, let's pretend, email, text message, or SMS gifts. And I was just like, wow, you know, I'm eating meals with real friends that have helped me, like genuinely bought me tickets to Thailand and never yelled at me, never an argument, never a dysfunction, especially in their family. I mean, the kids want to cry because they want to spend more time with their moms and everything, but I was living my life. Oh, look at this beautiful blue sky. Can't you see the private jets flying over you? On my own terms around the world, because my family is exactly the most supportive system I have. Like I was saying, it's one of the discomforts of my life is that, you know, I don't have a relationship with my siblings. I don't have a real connection with my parents. They're both two Scorpios, and I'm doing the tourist thing, and, you know, tourist thing too. And as a tourist of the world, or a traveler of the world, tourists are people that just come for a week and take off. I actually live here. Like, I actually was teaching people how to shop. I was like, yeah, bro, after 9 o'clock, man, you get 60% off of the food. They're like, what? And I was like, yeah, bro, good to know. So it was one of those things that I got to know more of the tourist things and everything that belongs into life, and walking past people that maybe aren't into their lives. They hide, or maybe they don't see. And, you know, of course, social media is always about posting the best of everything and not the worst of things. And I'm not talking about the worst, but it does suck to have family that is disconnected, divorced, and separated. The only time we call and talk to each other is when it's birthday time. And I'm grateful that my grandma's still alive, but it's one of those things to say in between the 6 months. We almost never say anything at all, you know. She's like, where are you? Oh, well, we didn't know. Well, go have a good time, bye. My grandma's the queen of less than a minute conversation. She can say a lot in just a minute, and then she's off of that thing. Okay, well, love you, bye. And maybe because she got so many grandkids, or maybe because she's just so busy, but I always felt disconnected to these situations. It's not like my grandma's ever sat down and had long dissertations or conversations with me, you know. Me and my father have a non-existent relationship even since I was a kid. And maybe I got daddy issues, maybe I got mommy issues, but this is something that needs to be said. I'm gonna flip this around so you can see my view when we go to the park, because I'm gonna park and spark real quick. I'm gonna get it on. Don't hit us. This dude's being rude. He just ran the light. And that's what it was about. It was like a situation where it's like, why am I witnessing families that belong together? You know, as I look over here at blah blah blah, the restaurant, you know, I know for facts that she's working with her mother. Like, I could never work with my mother. We would be at each other's throats, complaining, arguing, and being our feisty selves instead of the best version of ourselves. And I tend to find that it's not always on time with my fam bam. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching people do 4th of July, and they're so happy. They got all their kids. Kids are holding kids, you know. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's eating, and that seems to be the blessing. And then all of a sudden, it was like, where's my family? You know, I have to reflect on the things. Where's my unit, and how much power is in the family dynamic? I just read this morning that they're paying $38,000 for South Koreans to have a family, get married, and have babies, which is like my friends that are in Busan and in South Korea, and they're doing that exact thing. And it's just like, shit, I wish somebody would pay me to have a wife and kids and do those things. $40,000 is an amazing amount of money that we all get to be, and that's what it is. You know, it's one of those things where maybe you don't see, you know, your family as often as you'd like. Maybe it isn't as cool as you want it to be. It's one of those things where we don't get to realize any of these things. Maybe we swallow the alcohol because we're lonely, or maybe we're separate. Here's a full-on family from around the world that get to live together and be as one. We're talking about team playing. I think about my grandma and her being able to build this huge team, you know, 5 children, 5 daughters, one in the middle is my mom, and to see the splintering of all these women having children and becoming a unit. One of my favorite things, that bear right there. But an actual unit, a team, is what I have. I have a dream. I have a team, you know, being with Intersect.ai and all those other things. It's a blessing. You know, I wake up in the morning and my team's like, yeah, we should have an Upwork account, you know, share what we can do with other people in case they want to hire us and we want to make some money off of it. And I was like, hell yeah. And then the other guy jumped in. He's like, I'll make it. And I was just like, that's the blessing right there. As a team is someone that you can depend on when you're weak or not strong, you know, that you can depend on someone to pull the reins, or, you know, pick up the slack, or do the things that you lack. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about. This is the type of experience that I was like, you know, the power of a team. And that's what I probably should have labeled this labia structure here. Label this description was, it's the power of a team. You know, the team is where the dream exists. And I used to say, and my ex would get mad and she would say something like, stop saying that, so toxic. And I'm like, teamwork does make the dream work. And I'm never going to stop saying that, because I did grow up as the oldest of 4, you know, in a family that was a big family. You know, people thought we were triplets or more. And it's just one of those things where, as powerful as we were, is exactly how weak we are when separated. And that's what I started to see, is like people that can keep it together, years, eons, generations of keeping it together and working together, would be the situation that we all end up having. It's so funny walking in Finland, but that's the situation. You know, the situation at hand is being able to say that I built a team and I could function unequivocally. I can, you know, make the dream a reality. You ask somebody, why would you have children? They're so expensive. Or, you know, why would you, you know, slow down your life? And, you know, you travel so much. And it was just like, no wonder why, you know. Oh, my buddy just started calling me. Hold on a second. Let me see. Is he calling me? Here's my other buddy. I don't know what's happening. All right, and there I am in the middle of tick. All right, and there I am in the middle of tick square here where all the shine happens. It's in the middle of this little city that functions, and you can see the difference between age and the market and the families and the unit of holding hands and building teams and building the future, because literally we're nothing, right? That was my friend calling me just saying, hey, I told you I would call you, so I called you. I was like, okay, cool, you already got your keys. He gave me his car keys last night because he was too drunk to drive and he was too tired. I said, sure, I'll take the keys. And it was like, the trust of taking the keys. Look at these young ladies, they're so real and everything. It's so funny. Look at where they're almost adults now with cell phones and shit, like kids are so fucking tripped out, and so are families, and so is energies. And then I think anybody that really realizes everything, Plastic Pocket Challenge, is that we are nothing. We're just a blimp on the screen of the universe's backdrop, and all of a sudden you have a sequence of events that you're the energy while the time is being spent, and also to get to experience it. And then all of a sudden you're old. Whatever you thought was new becomes old, and it's so cyclical, and you don't want to really kind of admit it, right? Like, who wants to really sit there and say life's going to be over soon, or I'm not as strong as I think that I am, or nothing lasts forever? And you look at the spring, you look at the trees, you look at everything change and all its time and capabilities, and you realize, like, this too shall pass. No one has anything that lasts, and if you don't give your genetics into the future, then your genetics die, just like many men on the battlefields and many men in their lives. So welcome to my peaceful spot. I'm gonna get into this sunshine, and you're gonna see why I come here all the time. This is where I come to Library Park because it's nice and chill, and I can smoke one for the nation. You already know Saint's addiction. And I'm gonna go. Well, these two boys are hanging out, but doesn't mean I can't. I'm gonna chill here in the park, enjoying my day, and you can see how I get my mind right. You know what I mean? Every day. This is one of those things that I do when I'm doing my thing, and this is how I live my life. This is how I get into my calm zone. I usually sit like over here and do my thug fizzle, but now I'm gonna be over here picking up Plastic Pocket Challenge, y'all. All the drunk people fucking up the park with their alcohol and their tobacco, right? And not picking up after themselves. You already know, bro. It's Plastic Pocket Challenge, y'all. That's the Plastic Pocket Challenge. So yeah, usually I chill right here, sitting underneath and just staring up into the trees, but I kind of want to be free and smoke my joint properly, so I'm gonna come into the park and just chill while I want to. It's kind of naked park now, if you can see homie with this shirt off, or maybe I'll just come here and do my thing with my Tai Chi backpack sold separately and talk about friends and family. It's cool that the ones I was just talking about just literally hit me up. They're my friends, they're my family. And that it's been happening a couple different times. Saint's addiction, Saint shorts, Saint slides, Saint sunglasses, Saint sweaters. Can I say hoodies, psychedelic hoodies? So, to be able to stretch the demons, to be able to see my energy, to be able to be free from mental slavery, get my mind right and think of these things of how do I build my family as a lone wolf? How do I build my own reality when the dystopia is for real? And that's what ends up happening, Get into the sunshine and enjoy some things. But yeah, stretch out, bro. Be able to feel your skin, being able to win in life, even when you don't have friends, or even if you don't have a family. It's part of that whole thing, and that's why I come out here to live the dream, to be outside with the vibe and look into my life and say things like, it is a blessing to have friends turn into family. I've had to supplement my lack of family with friends around the world, and people go like, you have a Finnish mom? So they actually think that I have Finnish brothers and a Finnish mom, but I also have a Spain mom, a Thailand mom, and a Brazil mom. So, all these things have been cool for me. All these things have been transformational, and I'm just grateful. Dogs on shirts, that I can have people step up and they show me the example of love, or a family that still sticks together or helps each other. Like anything happens, he was just saying, "Hey, I need the keys. I got to go help, Yona's dad." And then I'm done with that. And then who else can I help? And just get things done and going after it. It's amazing. It really is amazing to see a team function, not just Intersect.ai, but a family or people that don't want to, live a lie. That's what it is. And this is our Tai Chi intake gorilla is what I'm going to be starting. But, the flow of energy and being able to stretch out me and my soul and my being, and really just expect everything, because there's really everything in life. It's such a blessing to be able to sit here, stretch out the demons, and walk in the grass. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk in the grass and smoke some grass, get grounded at last. You can see, feel these things, not step on the dog shit properly, but to actually be in the middle of the park and spark here real quick. Let's just blaze one for the nation. But it's an appreciation that I have people that have supplemented my life. Even that one guy I just met, I thought he was Aki. I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "What's up?" And he acted like he knew me, and I was like, "Really?" And it was like one of those things that, hustle sold separately. It's funny how you can feel closer to friends than to family, and how real things get when, all these things start happening. And I just realized that I had to supplement in my life, friends for family, and realize that there's not always, your friends can be your foes, but your family can be your enemies and frenemies, and all these things, all the blessings of the life, to be able to stretch my body in the sunshine without having to run to a job or have a boss. The only thing that I think that I'm missing, or that I feel lack thereof, is procreation, my own babies, my own family. And that seems to be the thing that's kept me from everything. Look at this thing. Oh, shiny. But that's what this is. Is it friends or family? Is it friend or foe? Is it me stretching and believing, or is it me lacking and not receiving? That's what we're gonna have this question. So let's blaze one for the nation. Don't forget to join Weed Club. Let's go, Saints Addiction. Yep. I'm just having reflection on why has my life been hard through family issues, and how separated we've been, and how we're in no contact, and I barely know them. I haven't spoken to my little sister in over 20 years, maybe. I don't even remember my last words to her or our last conversation. I don't even know why we're not talking, but that's how I see family, I see family as like a unit that should be together, but was forced together just by chance and genetics. And then, not all families get along. I've studied, infanticide, where they kill the girls and keep the boys, or that, the son will kill the father to be king, or, the brothers battle it out because they're looking for pole position. It's something like this. It's one of these things where all these things, become such a crutch to all of us, or a crucible for most of us. It's a pinnacle to say, can I translate past my family? Do I become a lone wolf that finds another lone wolf and has the family? Or am I stuck in my own, there's more rocks, or am I stuck in my own bubble by myself, and then I'd only just get to enjoy myself and not get to share my wealth? That's really the question. You're gonna work your whole ass off for something. Like I was watching, what's her face, Sadia Khan. Zadia Khan, and she was saying that her family, was everything was about family. It was all for the kids. It was all for the love. It was all for the butts on shirts, women's workout tanks. It was one of those things that I think that I had such a strong family. It's sad that we don't actually operate together, and it's quite lonely, but I had to also supplement my friends as my family to make sure that I would inevitably be successful and move forward. That's what it is, It's moving forward when everybody else wants to move alone. It's building teams and building dreams when everybody else is left behind and separated and stop calling. So it's tough. Building a family is probably going to be the hardest thing that I've ever done, and that includes traveling the world with no money. That includes, going to South Korean prison, and that also includes starting a business from nothing. I think a family is probably the hardest objective of the world to find a mate to mate with. Like I was saying, I was watching the two wolves and they were eating the carcass of the whale, and then because they were, the two lone wolves, and one was male, one was female, they might start a pack of their own. And that's what I would like to do. I want my own pack. I want my own wolf pack, and not just a bunch of friends like the Hangover movie, but little people that look like me, act like me, and talk like me. Energy, we can't deny that from babies. I mean, everybody would like to be posting and say, I'm doing so successful by myself. It's only me and myself in the selfie. But the real dream is to have something that money can't buy, right? You can't buy trust. You can't buy love. It's hard as hell to find somebody that you can trust and love and build with. And I think that's the crutch of everyone. It's the crutch of those two wolves eating the whale. They didn't know that they were going to bump into each other, and they don't know what pack they're about to build. But I think that's the unison of people, friends and family. I got another one. It was crazy. It's cool. To go out boldly into the world, brave and alone, as a lone wolf and alone, and say, I'm going to find somebody that I can tolerate, live with, and grow with. That's the hardest thing. It's harder than picking a major in college. It's harder than reading a fucking thick novel. It's one of those tough ones in life that we all are going to have to come past our fear. Like this girl just walked by not making any eye contact. Eventually, she'll have to be just like the three-toed sloth female and come down from her tree and her perspective and find a mate to procreate with. We all have wants. We all have needs. It's all part of the family. So look at these guys. They're barking at the dogs and shit. But dogs on shirts. I don't know who I'm going to build with, I don't know how I'm going to do it. My family was such a strong unit, and then it just splintered, and I think that it splintered throughout our whole family, and it bleeds into this day where people can go without talking, ignoring. I know my mom emailed me, and then she texted me, and then I SMS and gifts, and I just didn't want to connect. I didn't want to keep on pretending that everything was all right after she threw my stuff out of the third-story window and locked me out from my phone and my water and my laptop. It was all bad, bro. So you came probably from a family. You probably got friends, but can you build a team? Can you build a unit? Can you go for the win? And that's just really what it is. It's one of those things that's easier said than done, but not so easy to pull off. And at 45, I don't even know if I can ever create life. I've tried so many times, 5 times, failed. Either they're killed or... What am I finding here today? I'm finding all the little pieces of... Oh, got it. Damn, I found 3. How crazy is this? Shiny as can be, little gold circles. But that's the question of the thing, Are you supplementing your friends' family? I know a lot of people do that in Las Vegas. We're all transient town, so we tend to lean on people. What used to be the family unit, and then if the family unit's separated, you don't have many people to call upon, especially if you're moving or needed a loan, or hell, God forbid, you're in an emergency. Who's your emergency contact? You know, all the bullshit aside, don't matter how many, we keep finding them. Yeah. Good Lord. Oh, there's another one. Here's 5. Keep finding these little discs. Golden disc outside. Uh, so that's 5. Here's another one. Here's 6. Keep counting them. Just walking and I found a little gold shimmering back at me. So while everybody else is posturing and showing that their life is so awesome and amazing and they're always doing cool things, one day you're going to actually have to be yourself and prove that you have more than wealth. Imagine that. You know, you have something priceless. I wrote it the other day that peace is priceless, but you know, so is love, so is family, you know, and it's unfortunate that I don't have these strong things. I would love to just show it off and be like, look at my 10 kids, you know, look how happy we are traveling the world and how healthy we are and how much joy and stories they get to tell. You know, if you really love your life, and I do, I love my life, you know, I really do, more than anything, you know. As if you really love your life, then you would give life. This is the truth. I really believe it too. You know, you wouldn't have any demerits. You wouldn't take anything away from somebody. You would continue to build knowing that you won't last. Kind of like the Egyptians, you know? It's like, sure, we're going to build, but we're not sure if I'm going to die before the pyramids even finished. You know, they still built the pyramids and they still tried, and pharaohs still die. They're not the living gods that we think that we are. Your post will go into perpetuity, but then your account will just be frozen, and then you got people saying RIP instead of HBD. It's what it is. So what a life to live, you know, just to reflect on things every morning, to be in the park and spark and have deeper conversations and thoughts, and then I just sit here, let the sun come between the trees, blow smoke in the breeze, smoking trees with the trees, you know what I mean? And just thinking, how can I build a family? I've already built a team in Intersect.ai. I think my next level is to become wildly successful, find a partner that believes in me, that doesn't think that I'm lying to them, or that it's too good to be true, or I'm too wild, or I'm too blue, or maybe I'm too bold. Maybe it's all 5, I don't know, but somebody's got to be singing my tune, just like the birds singing above. They're finding love. They're finding somebody to love and someone to trust and someone to enjoy their life with. That's what it is. So you can keep talking about it, or you can be about it, just like this lovely couple here. You know, they're in their own world. Watch it, you know. And how about this lovely lady here? Look, everybody's trying to park and stuff, but I'm already parking and I'm already sparking. So this is what it looks like in Finland. Such a blessing that I could be so different, that I can still make it, that I can find someone to love and love me till we're old. Find my wife so she can give me 2 kids and take them to the park, and find, maybe, who knows, you know, lovers that are bold, you know, people that actually smile instead of just straight face or walk by every opportunity. Yeah. Hey, but she got that notification, baby. So that's why I built that app. I'm gonna build a dating app so that way when you're near somebody and they have matching qualifications, you too can get the notifications and stop and smile and maybe build the team that you just walked past. You know, actually do something with your life. Share your life. Build life. And watch the rest of your life start. She stopped dead in her tracks. Isn't that crazy? That her notification got her to freeze in the middle of a park. Can you believe that's a human being right there? That's not a mannequin. That was a human that was just walking. Oh, wait, there it goes. Oh, maybe sitting. Could have sat next to me, but decided to walk by and not say anything. But grab her notification and bounce on me. It's a form of silent protest. I'm smoking weed. They came by me, and now they just sat for 30 seconds, and now they want to just leave. Yeah. You should be so lucky. Somebody wants to join your life cycle and live with you and be near you. Someone will hold your hand when you're sick. Nobody posts about that, you know? Somebody to laugh with. Someone to raise. That's what we all want. I think they got downwind from me and decided not to want to smell my weed. I'm glad I wanted to be free. I'm already sitting here smoking and you pull up. That's a stupid move on you. Some of like those old people, they just walked past, pretending like I wasn't alive, and then all of a sudden they were like, you know what? We don't want to be second wind from that shit. We want to be mentally free, and that's everybody, you know what I mean? So you'll get to decide who's your vibe, who's your tribe. If you make a tribe, you know, you'll be able to see things. You know, everybody keeps walking past me. I want to sit next to me. I'm telling you, bro. Good thing I'm done with this joint. I'm offending the people of Tikkarila being mentally free and walking away from everyone. And when I sat down, there was no one near me. I felt like I found the perfect smoking spot. Look at these kids. They're trying to be bunnies or cats. Like they're sharing the mask. How fucking funny is that? And I think they're speaking Russian too. So life is so much fun. When you live it, go outside, please. Stay alive. Pick up the shimmery trash. It was Lori's birthday. I told you people be getting downwind from me while I'm smoking. So that's this morning's motivation. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Motivation. If you got anything out of this, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe below. You already know. Peace and love. And as always, goodbye. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. The other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be. Peace. You look cool as fuck to smoke with, bro. Hope you have a good day. Thank you, bro. And don't forget to join Weed Club on Instagram. Gang, gang. Yep. Made a little pass so all of us can source and smoke safely. We can all be, mentally free, and I feel nice and high and loosey-goosey, and it's a blessing, really, truthfully, bro. So for a Saturday, this park is basically empty. There's one dude that was stretching, but like these kids just rolled up. It's so chill, the whole park. Kids can be free and enjoy themselves and be safe. And like these two girls are pretending to be cats and share the same mask. Like, who does that? It's such a blessing. And this little cool couple, looking at them touching, they still love each other. They don't do it in public, but you know what I mean. Planet Earth rules, dude. It does when you're in Finland, dude. This motherfucker is built for speed. It's literally so nice and cozy. This is why you'll hear everybody goes like, "Why are you on?" You know what I mean? Why are you always going to Finland? I'm like, because of my friends, and my friends are like my family, and they're so loving and they're so giving, and this is my tribute to them. So, go be free. Go start a family. I'm gonna go chill under the sun, yo. Peace.